All right, everybody. Today is a day of celebration. Today is an amazing day for so many PvPers out there, and I'll explain why in this video. Blizzard has implemented an even better and a new PvP gearing system, an upgrade system, and I believe the system that they proposed just recently, as it went on the beta, is going to really revive PvP for so many players. It's going to really repair the PvP ecosystem. It's going to incentivize Battlegrounds. It's going to incentivize Arena, which has already been incentivized, and it's going to also incentivize rated Battlegrounds, something that's been kind of lacking a lot of incentive. And I'm going to be breaking it down in this video. I'll talk about why these changes are so great. There's a lot of confusion online on how the system works, and I've kind of gone through and spent hours looking through the system and coming together with this video to share with all of you guys today. So many of you have seen my videos, and we've done so many iterations of the system. I've explained so many times why the initial system was so bad, why it was so bad in BFA, and how we got to this point with an amazing system that I'm very happy about. So you can see here, this is the Conquest vendor, the rated gear vendor, the rated arena vendor, the rated battleground vendor, where it offers amazing gear with really good stat options that are designed and tailored for most of your classes. And you'll get most of the gear, 90% of the gear from this vendor, and it's going to be best in slot, and I'm really happy about that. So the confusion was, how do I upgrade this gear? Am I going to upgrade this gear? Because in every aspect of Shadowlands, when you look at like your Covenant, for example, the Honor vendor, this vendor now, you upgrade your gear through ranks. And the question was, would I have to repurchase higher ranked gear? Would I have to spend Conquest, which is capped per week, which is how it's been in almost every expansion. Even in Burning Crusade, you got arena points that you would use to purchase and buy gear. That was capped per week, how much you could actually earn. And if I was going to have to spend Conquest to upgrade an item, that would take forever because it's capped. That was the question. And then recently they put out some blue posts. They made some changes that I discovered in the middle of the night. I discovered it by realizing that I got a piece of loot for my weekly vault. You can see here that this says unranked because there wasn't rated arena going on at the time. After some testing, this showed me that the system had changed. I had dropped this item right here into the slot, and it's like, I was like, I can upgrade this. And then I saw at the bottom, number one, it said you have to earn combatant rank, so 1400. Anyone and their freaking grandma can get 1400, okay? You could literally play without a monitor and probably get 1400. You could play on an Xbox controller and probably get 1400. And to upgrade it, it said at the bottom, it costs 750 honor. So right when I saw this, I was extremely happy because that means they're using honor as a currency to upgrade your gear. So after seeing this, I was very happy because I realized that I wasn't going to have to spend all of my Conquest per week to continuously upgrade an item 5 ranks if you're able to get up 5 ranks, if you're able to get up 2 ranks, 3 ranks, 1 rank, whatever. And then I went ahead and checked my PvP tab because late last night, I was able to actually get some rated PvP queues. They opened it up. It takes a while to get a queue. You don't get too many because it's on the beta. But I noticed here that I saw my Conquest cap was at 9,350, meaning that that's how much Conquest I could earn. Now, this is a clear indicator that we are several weeks into the Shadowlands season, meaning that this isn't what you'll get at the very beginning, but midway through the season, your Conquest cap might look something like this, meaning that you can just spam Arena or rated Battlegrounds or however else you're going to earn your Conquest to catch up to that cap. And you can then on alts, if you wanted to play an alt mid expansion, you made a bad choice, you didn't like the character you picked, you're a PvPer and you realize, I don't like playing mage, I want to play Warlock. You can get on a character middle through the season and start just earning tons of Conquest and buying all of these pieces. It's 2,000 for a chest piece. It's 2,000 for a pair of legs. It's 1,600 for a pair of boots. 1,600 for a pair of shoulders. You can buy all of this gear on your alt as you've been doing Arena, and then you can use the honor that you've accrued along the way from the BGs that you would have done in the very beginning. And you can use that honor to catch your character up very fast. I think it's probably one of the best alt catch-up systems anywhere in Shadowlands. I don't think PvEers have it this good. They're probably going to be a little jealous, but I think it's great to have. I think it's great for PvPers to have their moment. So, what is it going to look like? What would your experience be if you're maybe on an alt or a new player? Well, in the beginning of the expansion, we talked about the time gating behind Battleground gear. And the main focus of the video I made regarding Battlegrounds was to give Battlegrounds a purpose beyond just alt gearing or early gearing. Even though the gearing system isn't amazing, we'll talk about what it would look like, and we'll also talk about why this honor system provides incentive to BGs throughout the expansion. So when you look at this vendor, when the expansion comes out, all you'll be able to do is Mythic Zeros, which award you, I believe, 184 item level loot. 184, as you can see here. And you can only do these once per week. And this will last for the first 2 weeks before Rated Arena opens up, Rated Battlegrounds open up, and Mythic Plus opens up. You'll be able to do these 8 dungeons, each of them once per week. And then after that, with the reduced loot as well. So keep that in mind. Even though you're doing 8 dungeons, you might get like 2 items, 3 items if you're lucky because of the reduced loot. So then outside of these Mythic Zeros that you would do, you would be spamming then heroic dungeons, which give you 171 item level. And you can spam these, but the stats aren't going to be the stats that you want in regards to PvP. There might be a couple items, but in general, you don't get the best stat selection, and you're not really sure if you're going to get an item at the end of the dungeon anyway. The first 2 weeks before the renown system gets to level 7 and you can upgrade your gear to rank 3, you can upgrade your BG gear pretty easily. And I put this trinket in here, and I can upgrade it for 400 honor to 164, and then I can upgrade it to 171, matching the heroic item level loot, right? So the first week, most PvPers will now just be spamming BGs after doing your Mythic Zeros if you want to give yourself the best chance of getting the highest item level loot available at the time. But you can really just spam BGs, because the 389 Battlegrounds that we talked about, that is if you were to just spam BGs the entire time and not do any forms of rated content. Most likely, most players will do this, get the heroic item level rated loot, and then hop into, after the 2 weeks, into rated combat. And all of that honor that you'll be acquiring to upgrade the gear during those 2 weeks of spamming BGs, you'll also be getting that honor as an upgrade currency to upgrade your Conquest Gear. And this provides a lot of incentive to BGs for alts. It provides a lot of incentive to BGs outside of doing arena, because you do get honor from doing arena. And if you don't have arena queues and you want to keep upgrading, let's say you hit 1800, or let's say you hit duelist and you have one of these, sinful gladiator pieces, one of these rated arena pieces or rated battleground pieces, you can then use the honor from just doing BGs in your free time, because you can't find queues, to continuously upgrade your gear. Now, the reason why they used honor as a currency to upgrade this gear is because you're capped at how much conquest you can earn per week. So after a while in BFA, you would get your conquest cap, and then that was kind of it. And in other expansions, you could only earn certain amounts of conquest, right? So it didn't really give you incentive to spam arena other than just pushing rating. It didn't really give you too much incentive to spam Battlegrounds after alt gearing. But now all players, regardless of where you're at in the expansion, if you want to upgrade an item, unless you're fully decked out, will have a purpose to do Battlegrounds. And that was the main focus, is I wanted players in general to have a purpose to do BGs, because if you're just sitting around waiting for arena queues, and if you can't find any, the video game, or at least World of Warcraft, starts to become like a mini game. If you're an arena player, you're just waiting for arena. If you have no arena, you have nothing else to do that's PvP focused with incentive. This system in general allows players interested in PvP to do Battlegrounds as well, to pass time, to progress their character with incentive. So it really repairs the already stable arena system, and it incentivizes the Battleground system, helping both of them. Well, what about rated Battlegrounds, right? That's the one thing that's kind of left out of this equation when it comes to instance PvP. You have great options for arena, you have incentive to do BGs, but what about rated Battlegrounds? Now, as you can see on the screen, we have the new Vault system, which is essentially your weekly chest system. If you're unfamiliar how that was in BFA, you, at the end of the week, would get a chest and it would RNG a random item, most likely not giving you what you wanted. Now you get to choose, depending on the content you pursue, 3 options or more, and you get to pick one of them. So if you're doing a lot of PvP, you'll have 3 options. Let's say you do rating and PvP. If you're interested in that, you have 6 options to choose from, but you only get to pick one, and the loot table comes from the content that you're pursuing. And if you look here, it used to say conquest. You'd have to earn a certain amount of conquest per week to unlock one of these options. The final option initially was 875 conquest, and 875 conquest compared to 10 bosses from a raid. Now, if you're not in a guild and you're the average player pugging, clearing 10 bosses in a raid per week is really a chore. I mean, I know if you're in a guild, you can do it pretty quickly, but at the beginning of an expansion, clearing the entire raid for just most guilds isn't the most easy thing to do. If you're looking at doing 10 mythic dungeons, finding the group, doing all of that takes a while. Earning 875 conquest in a week is pretty easy for the average PvP player. If that's going to give you your 3 options with a good loot table. Well, they changed it because you're capped on how much conquest you could earn per week to honor. So 6,250 honor. You can see there's a big jump from doing 4 dungeons to 10 dungeons, and 2,500 honor to 6,250 honor is also a pretty big jump, but nothing that outrageous. If you're just, that's the content you pursue, you're being rewarded for what you like to do, and earning 1,250 for a single option. Now it says honor from rated PvP. And if we actually look at rated PvP, what's going to give you the most honor? One of the forms that you would do, one of the forms of PvP that you would do in BFA to get a lot of conquest really fast was rated Battlegrounds. And some players used this system to get their conquest cap very fast, but you didn't really need to do it because you were essentially capped per week. So you maybe do 1 if you were behind and then you were already caught up. You wouldn't spam RBGs. There wasn't much of a purpose of doing them. But you can see it here that if you look at TBT Arena, your first win of the day is 200. And then after your first win, you get 100. So if you're spamming 2s all day, you know, it's similar to, I would say, time investment of doing 10 dungeons or clearing an entire raid. If you do 3v3 Arena, you're getting 250 honor. But if you look at rated Battlegrounds, you're getting 850 honor from rated PvP, and that's not counting any honor that you might acquire during the battleground. And if you only need 6,250 to get 3 options, rated Battlegrounds will be an amazing way to start unlocking these vaults. And for a lot of players, this is going to heavily incentivize rated Battlegrounds, because in the past, you didn't need to do that much arena to get your cap. You didn't need to do, that many rated Battlegrounds to get your cap. But now to unlock these 3 options, similar to 10 dungeons or 10 bosses in the raid, you could do RBGs to get an item. And the way that the loot works is your loot is based on the highest rating you've achieved in a certain bracket. So let's say you get 2K and 2s, you can do some TBT Arena, get your win, and then you can spam some RBGs. Or if you're not into RBGs, you could just continue to do Arena like you've always been doing. However, I think a lot of people aren't into RBGs because there's no reason to do them and there are not that many teams queuing. But with this incentive behind it and the massive amount of honor that you receive from doing RBGs, I think a ton of people will be doing RBGs. I'll be doing RBGs. If you're not really in like the scene for RBGs, you don't have any achievements, you can literally make a group titled YOLO RBGs, and you're fighting like 1,300 teams, and it's just fun, and you can easily win those games and get tons of honor towards your weekly vault. So this system not only helps BGs have incentive, not only maintains Arena as a solid form of gearing, but it also allows RBGs to have incentive. And if you're a big RBG player, you can just unlock conquest, earn your conquest, get items, just purely doing RBGs. And I think this does a lot of good for the PvP ecosystem. And I ultimately think this is one of the best changes that could have happened to the Shadowlands PvP vendor system. Not to mention the alt gearing system is insane. The fact that I can actually, with an expansion being so slow in terms of gearing, much slower than BFA, the fact that I can, hop on a character middle of the season and start earning tons of conquest and using the honor that I might acquire from getting my heroic item level loot before stepping into the arena, and then earning honor through doing arena and using that honor to upgrade my conquest gear that I can buy multiple pieces once I've conquest capped, is such a good progression system. And it's miles better than it's not even close to BFA. It's literally like comparing a Burger King hamburger with no patties in it to a Five Guys triple bacon cheeseburger. If you're not into Five Guys, you can say In-N-Out, Shake Shack, I guess Whataburger, but I think that place just sucks. It looks disgusting. It's an amazing system, and I really want to commend the Blizzard development team. They actually came out and put out a post trying to explain the system to some of the people that were confused about this system. And And they said something like they're excited to see what happens with the PvP scene regarding these changes. I think it really creates a healthy ecosystem. And I know there's some people that are upset on the forum saying that, well, this isn't fair to the players that don't really do rated forms of combat. Like they don't do rated PvP. But if you look at it, you have to do mythic plus dungeons to get your vault reward. You have to raid, which takes way more effort. And the item level that you would get with the old system, first of all, they're complaining that, well, I don't want to do rated PvP. I wanted to do all the other things like just regular Battlegrounds to earn Conquest to get my vault reward. Well, first of all, it was never going to be 875. That's way too easy. They could have buffed the Conquest to like 2,000. Good luck earning 2,000 Conquest through regular Battlegrounds. That would take forever. And the loot that you would get would be unranked. And you could just go buy gear that's like the same item level from the vendor that's unranked with Conquest anyway. So I feel like the people that are complaining about that small thing either don't understand the system, or they're just people, you know what, that like to be negative and just be negative about good change. And at the expense of those small minority of people, we have an amazing system that I think is really going to do a lot of good for the PvP scene in Shadowlands. So ultimately, you guys, I want to thank every single one of you for making this change possible. From where we started with this PvP vendor system going into Shadowlands to where we're at now, I think it's unreal. Absolutely unreal. And I'm so happy to see so many people coming together. A big shout out to Venruki for being a big help in this change. A big shout out to Asmon or Zach for supporting my videos and bringing me on Allcraft and helping get the word out there. Thank you to everyone in the comments, sharing these videos on Twitter, all the positive people coming together to make positive change. This Monday, you guys, the expansion comes out. This Monday, we no longer have to farm visions, maybe Torghast. This Monday, we no longer have to do islands, warfronts, no corruption, no Azurite traits, no essences, no cloak grind. As a whole, players can now log into the game and experience all forms of PvP. They can log in and do BGs with a purpose. They can do rated Battlegrounds with a purpose. You can do arena with a purpose. And I think this is a step in the right direction. We can say goodbye to BFA, say hello, a big hello to Shadowlands, and I will see you all in the Shadowlands.